All right, sometimes things go wrong. And what do I mean by that? I am actually holding in my hand a coilover for the 370Z. These are BC coilovers. You're probably thinking, what could possibly go wrong with this coilover? Well, let me show you. You see that, guys? So when I purchased this vehicle, I did a full inspection. I inspected the tires, I inspected everything. I was trying to make sure that everything was running properly. I was looking for play. I was moving the hub bearings back and forth. And the reason why I was doing that was because it was new to me. So when we would drive this vehicle around, we would hear some type of front end noise. And we knew there was something wrong, but we never found out what it was. Well, just recently, I was looking in the top of the engine bay and I discovered something, and it looked like this. So I couldn't really see it because it's tucked away and I couldn't really tell what was going on. So I decided to use a pry bar and move it back and forth. To my surprise, there was movement here. So I don't know why this is destroyed like this. I think this was probably done on purpose. Why do I think this was done on purpose? Well, when I show you the other side, it looks exactly the same. It looks the same way like you see it here. It looks like it's been grinded off, it's elongated, and it doesn't look like it was damaged by accident, like just by driving it. It looks like this was purposeful. And I sit here and wonder right now and think, why would you do this? Why would you do something like this? But if you have seen my older video with the 370Z getting a clutch, I had noticed that there was noise coming from the throwout bearing. This is what happens when you put cheap Chinese shit on your cars. Look at that. Well, I discovered that there was bolts that were too tight, there were some that were loose, and things were just done, I don't know, it's kind of sketchy. Why do you guys do this? Why do you guys half-ass things? Something as nice as a 370Z, you turn it into a piece of shit. Why does this happen all the time? So I went to the BC website and I picked up these top hats, and I went with the bushing type. I did not go with the solid mounted ones because I want a little bit of comfort. Okay, yes, I am looking for performance, but I want a little bit of comfort. So I went with the bushing style, the one with the rubber bushing. So we're gonna swap these out and we're gonna try to restore the performance of the 370Z, because right now when you drive it, every once in a while, when you hit a corner, the steering wheel feels weird. It will pull to the left, it will kind of wander. So it does weird things every once in a while when you're driving it down the street. So we're gonna try to correct this because I am trying to compete with the Miata. Now, if you've seen the other video that we posted with the Mazda Miata, the first drive with the turbo, look how beautiful this came out. Look how clean this looks. That vehicle is pretty much almost ready to go to the autocross, and we're gonna compete in the autocross, the 370Z versus the Miata. I am obviously trying to improve the performance on the 370Z, and one of those things that I'm gonna do is, of course, repair this. So I also picked up other parts, but this video is gonna mainly consist of me trying to figure out if I could restore the BC coilovers, if I could salvage whatever's going on here. I might be able to, or I might end up having to buy 2 front struts and coilovers all over again. So yeah, we'll find out what happens. I'm gonna blame him for this because he drove this car for a whole year. You're laughing? He drove this for this was your fault. Even though I knew there was a sound this whole time and we couldn't figure it out. Right, I'm gonna blame everything on you, dude. I removed the one on the right side. Now, check this out. It is so messed up. I can't believe this. I can't believe that this was in a 370Z. But then at the same time, we pulled off a straight pipe exhaust. Everything was messed up in here. And this is how you remove a cheap, crappy exhaust. Just like that. Now, check this out. Look how messed up this is. Now, I have a video in showing how to adjust the ride height, how to set the preload. I bet the preload is messed up on this too. It's not even. Now look at this. How the hell you think, why would you think that this would be any good having a mismatched ride height on this. Look at this. This is dumb. This is so dumb. Now, check this out. One of them has a bushing and the other one doesn't. What are you doing? So guys, hey, listen, guys, not everyone should touch a car. Not everyone should touch a car. Listen, if you don't know what you're doing, don't touch it. Just don't touch it. Take it to somebody like me, take it to a professional, or someone that at least could figure it out and do a little bit better job. This is, guys, how do you think this car will handle? No wonder this thing was having wandering issues. And look at this, look at the top, how it's grinded away. Look at one side has a bushing, the other side doesn't. Look at the height, okay? It's not even. This is nuts to me. And to make matters worse is you have this right here. You're supposed to lock it into the bottom piece. Well, guess what? It's loose. Look at this. It's loose. So this has been vibrating loose. It might be messed up. We'll see if we could salvage these. I don't even know if these are salvageable. So we'll take them apart and see. We'll check the preload and see. I bet everything is off. I mean, you could see just by the ride height. I mean, this is so dumb. Why? Why would you do this? Why? And look, guys, just to double check and verify, it is for a 370Z. Why they would do this, I have no idea. Somebody, if you guys are watching this and you ran into this situation where the top hat on your BC strut mount got elongated from just using it, I doubt it. It looks like this was grinded away for some reason. If somebody's ran into this situation, let us know. Let us know, because I might be full of it, but I don't think I am. There's something messed up here.
You know what? I think I blame him. Sorry, I didn't mean to poke.
Just touch me in the face, bro?
I didn't mean to. I didn't know you were that close.
And once again, we have come to the conclusion that it's this guy's fault. He's hiding here in the corner. It's this guy's fault, right here. It's his fault.
I blame him. I think, you know what? He was the one who took off the struts and then rearranged the height, the right height.
All right, so I'm gonna check the preload. Obviously, the right height is wrong. The right height is completely off, but I'm gonna check the preload, and that is the amount of pressure of the spring that's compressing up against the top mount. So I'm gonna zero it in here and then go back to this and then bring it back down to where it's supposed to be. Okay, so it's off by 2 millimeters, 2.56 millimeters. That's not that much, that's not critical. So it's off by just a little hair, so the preload was pretty dead on. But the right height is completely off.
So I started by loosening the locking ring so I could break it loose from the top hat. So I started winding it backwards, and then I noticed it was jammed. So I put it on the vise so I could break it loose. And then as I broke it loose and took everything apart, I discovered something.
What in the world? All right, guys, let me show you what I have discovered. So look at this top mount. It is gone. It's destroyed. So I'm starting to believe that maybe they did not do this on purpose. Maybe the bushing just failed. Like you can see here, here's the bushing. And then they left it on maintenance for a while. And this is what happened. It's just started to get bigger and bigger. And look at this, it's destroyed. So here's the new one. This is what it's supposed to look like. You can see this piece goes in here, but maybe they have changed the design over at BC, because it looks slightly different. This looks like it had a channel that came up, and maybe this was a different model before they revised it to this style. So here's all the other pieces of the bushing, and it's gone. So we're gonna set this aside and we're just gonna inspect everything. This boot still looks like it's in good shape. We're gonna clean that up. This bump stop is still in good shape. Okay. Now what this is so when you run out of travel on your shock, there is this little cushion that it prevents it from bottoming out You don't want it to max out all the way to the bottom because it'll destroy your shock. So we're gonna test out this shock absorber. And it feels like it still works and it rebounds back. So that's still good. We're just gonna clean everything up and then put everything back together. The spring seems to be in good shape. I think it had too much preload, more preload than I would want it to have. I think we're just gonna go with like a 4mm compression of preload. So we'll probably just do a 4mm preload on it, but I think it had way too much. And then later we would fine tune this, but you would need corner scales to fine tune it. So yeah, we're just gonna continue to clean and rebuild.
All right, guys, so I have cleaned up the strut and I'm ready to start assembling everything. So I'm gonna just insert the spring in here, just like that. We have this little plastic washer that sits in there. And then I have the upper hat, top mount. We have this little bushing washer. And then the upper bolt. So now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten everything down and make sure it is set correctly. So one tip that I'm gonna share with you guys is whenever you're loosening this nut right here, you're gonna need some type of Allen key like this, some type of Allen wrench, and you will use a wrench like this. And it is easier if you use an ratcheting wrench like that. You could tighten this bolt down. So I'm gonna do that right now. Insert it in here. It's very important to use both the Allen key and the ratchet wrench when you're tightening everything down. If you didn't use both of them, what'll happen is the center shaft, the rod, would spin, and inside here, the strut has a rubber bushing or a rubber seal. That rubber seal will start to spin and you could damage the strut itself. So you're gonna need to hold it in place, and that's why you use one of these and then you tighten it down. If you don't use it, you could damage it. That's why I was showing you guys that. So now I'm gonna set the preload in here. So I have videos on how to set the preload.
Now as I started to tighten this collar up, now there's a space that's been created here. This is about 6mm. This turned off already because, you know, I set it here, I held it down, and this is what I set all the other ones to. But you want them to all be uniform, so that's why I did it like this. I used the caliper to measure the distance that we put the preload on. So it's about 6mm of preload. So now I just tighten this part right here and we send it home. So once again, now we have a beautiful working strut, we have a beautiful working coilover, and it's ready to be installed in the vehicle. So look what it looks like now. It's repaired, it's fixed, it's ready to be installed. So now I have to do the same thing to the other one.
Mental behavior, vibes are major. They don't want no heat, they don't want danger. Serial sager, incense burner. Bars on the mic or make it do a turner. Respect earner, buns looking like a gourmet burger. Scene disturber, vibe interpreter. Energy reader, look how we're working now. Loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2, sip on the bevy. Ready, loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2, sip on the bevy. Ready, yeah, bubble and bounce. Studio inside the house on maximum vibes, you know we get down. Yeah, down on the tune, yo, bubble and bounce. Always prepped and ready, deep with a bassline medi. I am the one like Heady, J to the A and the S-E-T, no Freddy. Born ready, loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2, sip on the bevy. Born ready, loaded, locked and ready. See how we keep it steady. See how we keep it heavy. 1, 2, sip.
Alright, check this out, guys. This car was not going to be able to beat the Miata in the state that it was. With all these bushings all destroyed, those washers just coming apart, everything's just, the front end was not up to specs. So no matter how hard I would have tried, the 370Z would not outperform the Miata with these type of freaking parts. So it's a good thing we were checking everything over and we finally caught the problem. So it's definitely going to handle better now. Another thing that I had to replace, and I had it for the rear, and you'll see it in the later video, one of the rear struts, it's gone as well. So I had to replace the boot here. So this was for the rear, but now I'm gonna have to order another one so we could replace the one in the rear.
Okay, so I have the front coilovers installed, and it's sitting up here on some cribs right now, and I want to show you something. There is a limit to how low you should go when you're trying to seek some performance out of your vehicle when it comes to lowering your vehicle. So this car, believe it or not, it is too low right now. So what does that mean? It means that the suspension travel, when it would start to articulate and go up and down, and while I'm going down the track, it's gonna hit the fender in here and it's gonna bottom out. And you do not want that. You do not want your suspension not to be able to travel and do its job. So the ideal height for the 370Z, ideal roughly, is around 26 3/4 in the front or 26 1/2. What does that mean? Well, if you measure from the bottom of the floor, and we have it on these cribs, to here, you can see I'm sitting at 25 3/4 right now. So I'm gonna make a whole video in how to adjust your suspension, ideally set for the track, because it is critical to be able to do this to not throw off the geometry too much on the suspension, so everything could work properly. And I'll have more details on the following video, but for right now, I just wanted to show you guys that it's installed, the coilovers are installed, and I could technically just drive it like this in the street, but since I'm seeking performance, I'm not going to. So in that video, I'm gonna show you how to set up the front end versus the rear. So you will want a little bit of a rake, meaning the rear, you want it a little bit higher than the front. And I'll explain everything in that video. So if you guys run into any situation like this where you have to adjust your coilovers, or you might want to fine tune something, remember to adjust everything and then take it to get aligned, because as soon as you lower the vehicle, your toe is going to be off, your camber is going to be off. I haven't purchased camber arms for this yet, but I will be purchasing them soon. Tune in for all those updates as I continue to upgrade this vehicle to try to get it to perform as best as possible. So if you found any value in this video whatsoever, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one.